Hi, welcome back to the Monocle. What's your favorite escape from reality, and what's the price you're paying for it? Today we're gonna be talking about how entertainment is evolving throughout the years, from a fun way to spend your time to a brainwashing machine that leads you to a life without purpose. How you choose to spend your time, what you listen to, what you watch, what you read, what you scroll through, swipe on, click on, is slowly shaping your entire reality. What this reality will do for you is influence your entire decision-making process, the way you see yourself, the way you interact with other people, the way you create relationships, how you perceive the world, and in the end, what you will turn out to be. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the day. How an average day looks like is you sleep for about 7 to 8 hours, you work for about 8 to 10 hours depending on what job you're in, and that leaves you a total of 5 to 6 hours that you can spend however you wish. When you consider that you need to spend time on basic hygiene, you need to spend time eating, you need to spend time commuting, you need to spend time on these various small activities, price needs to be paid in time for all of them, that leaves you about maybe 3 to 4 hours that you get to do whatever you wish with. When we talk about what we do in our day when it comes to entertainment, is quite heavier than it sounds at first glance. You actually get 4 hours of your time to spend on whatever you want, and you choose to spend it by doing those things. The question is, what is entertainment offering us today? The strongest and most genuine form of entertainment for all human beings throughout the course of history has always been social interaction. What is happening now is all of this social interaction, we are being ripped away from it, and we are being put in a virtual setting where there is no lessons to learn to be able to better yourself and come off as confident, nice, a pleasant person to be with or around. So this is on the long run gonna have very devastating effects on society if we don't do something about it right now. Social media platforms are becoming echo chambers where nuanced discussion is lost. While earlier forums and online communities were centers of rich and knowledgeable debate, today's platforms tend more to polarize than educate. Two reasons that I can think of is these so-called echo chambers, where there is a vast majority of people sharing the same belief and ideology, just reinforcing each other's beliefs. So yes, you're right, you're right about being right, you're right about me being right, about you being right. So pretty much what that does on the long run is create some form of smaller communities that are very tight-knit, with a very strong membrane and a very big resistance to outside opinions, thinking that they are better than anyone else. And the second reason, which stems from this echo chamber, is the cancel culture. When we talk about any form of justice, we are talking about what is on the right side and what is on the wrong side of an arbitrary line, which the person deciding about that is defining. What happens with these smaller echo chambers and that sort of thinking, what's right, what's wrong, and everybody defining their own right and wrong, is you have at the same time a lot of multiple arbitration lines coexisting, and everybody thinking that everybody else's opinion is wrong and should be cancelled. The problem, the way I see it, has been more pronounced in the recent years due to the fact that too many people have too vast a reach. So everybody can share their own opinion, while before you weren't able to do that. You had your social circles, you had your friends, you had your family, you had your acquaintances, you had your social gatherings, and that was pretty much the extent of it. Now anybody, including myself, can just go on the internet and type something, make a TikTok video, make a YouTube video, make anything and reach a very, very large audience. Honestly, social media is the worst thing you can do with your spare time, which is living your life on purpose in a virtual world that has no connection to reality. On social media, specifically Twitter, Instagram, or any other medium where people can pick and choose which moment of their life they want to share, what is presented in the majority of cases is not the truth. And what is the result of that is that people that are watching on the other ends of the world are having a very, very wrong perception of what reality may look like by just seeing an individual's time frame of a 24-hour day through a lens of a TikTok video that lasts 50 seconds or less. And this is, I believe, the most negative impact that any type of media has on a person's psyche, due to being fed lies on what life should be about. Since everything that we're talking about today is entertainment, specifically, I want to say everything that is on social media at this time can very, very easily be qualified as science fiction. I'm honestly gonna say some TikTok videos at this time have more production value than some actual movies that come out on Netflix. Social media is the worst thing you can do with your spare time. Today we have a mediocre product with little to no character development infused with identity politics used to combat negative criticism. It's very easy to try and deflect any negative criticism on this mediocre product by just saying you're a bigot. Since 2010 onwards, I could have guessed the story pretty accurately at 1/4 in the movie. So I would have known about what's gonna be happening with the character, how they're gonna be developing, what would be the plot twist, and so on. This is when we talk about the creativity that's involved in today's media. We now have a larger choice than ever when it comes to quantity of a very limited pool of material that's getting recycled, reframed, repictured, and given to us in a different package. So we have all of these similar things. We have a wider choice, but of things that have no real value and meaningful distinction between them. Let's talk about the two biggest franchises when it comes to movies and shows and so on, which is Disney and Marvel. So all of the things that Disney is doing today are reruns of cartoons that were made 100 years ago or 50 years ago, which sadly they are also trying to implement some sort of identity politics in. And shows like She-Hulk, like Ant-Man 17, the rerun of the rerun, and everything that's made, in essence, in the last 5 years is just a bigger number alongside something that existed 20 years ago. I remember movies like The Fight Club, like Lord of the Rings, like A Beautiful Mind, like The Pianist, like... There are a lot of movies that maybe not everybody at home will even have watched, but all of the movies that were made up and around 2010 were what I consider to be works of art. Okay, yet again, not all of them were good, but all of them had some merit when it comes to the story, when it comes to direction, when it comes to... People could not rely on visual effects so much, and they had to have real quality in the works that they produced. Today, visual effects are pretty much everything that you get. You get a sad, tired story that's just been rerun multiple times, and that's it. But it's of a different color, of a different shape. So this is it. Music being a form of art is something that requires you to be original and to infuse yourself into what you are making. It's very hard to be original today. One of the problems with modern day music is that even though it is the medium that can influence your mood unconsciously, either pick you up or bring you down, there is a big difference between music that was made 60, 50, 40 years ago and the music that's being made today.
It was last Christmas we canceled a song that was written in the 1940s called Baby It's Cold Outside. People said that they were triggered, that the lyrics were rapey, and they had toxic masculinity. And that's fine if you feel that way, but radio stations across the country wouldn't play the song because people were outraged. Which is fine if you feel that way, but at the exact same time, the #1 song in this nation for over 2 months was Wet Ass Pussy. I am not making that up. You can look it up. Google it. So I want to wrap up my show by comparing and contrasting the lyrics of these two songs. If indeed this country has lost its fucking mind, shall we? Let's start with the horribly offensive Christmas song written just after World War II. I really can't stay, baby, it's cold outside. I gotta go away, baby, it's cold outside. This evening has been so very nice. Yeah, you fucking with some wet ass pussy. Bring a bucket and a mop for this wet ass pussy. Beat it up, N-word, extra large, extra hard. Put this pussy right in your face, swipe your nose like a credit card.
We live in some pretty fucked up times, and the standards are now either through the roof or down the drain, depending on how you look at it. The tricky part and the dangerous part about music, and why is it important for you to also think about that, is that specifically while multitasking and while focusing at something else, it can very easily come to that you are listening to some autoplay music that you did not intend to listen. And this is why it is important for you to consciously choose what goes into your ears and your mind. Okay, let's have a look at the gaming industry. Do I want to go to work? Nah. Do I want to go to the gym? Nah. Do I want to go into some social interactions or to a club, try to potentially find someone, meet someone and so on? Nah, just living in the other world is much easier. I'm a long time gamer myself. This is the type of entertainment that I use mostly, and to me it's a very welcome escape from reality. I could talk about this subject for hours, but I'm not gonna do that right now. What we had in the older games, it was non-technology reliant, complete product filled with story and interesting mechanics that allowed you to use your imagination to fill the graphic quality gaps and to play something and to go into another world, make decisions, have consequences, learn, develop, and so on, and feel that your time is respected by the game creator, since they were offering you a complete product at that stage. The point that really makes me sad is that compared to that very nice period of time that we had, which I would say was until game developers started wanting to make money more than everything else, so they put the user experience behind. We now started receiving games that are early access, games that even in a non-final state are already heavily monetized, that revolve a lot around gambling. They have the game as a service mentality, which, and this should be a red flag to anyone watching this video, is that the majority of game studios that offer games today have pretty much two metrics when it comes to measuring the success of games. None of them is how happy a gamer is with the status of the game. The first metric is how much money are you spending, and the second metric is how satisfying the gameplay loop is in order to keep you coming back for more. So how much time can you actually sink into one game before growing bored of it? And by being satisfied, I don't mean being happy because you're playing a game, but just having those small dopamine triggers that keep you coming back for more. The whole mobile games industry is exactly like that. A lot of multiplayer games on consoles and on the PC market are exactly designed to take your time and money. This is specifically what games are designed to do. There are, however, some very notable exceptions. The Witcher 3, Elden Ring, and Baldur's Gate 3, the most recent edition. At the time of release, all of these three games were groundbreaking and ground-shaking, purely because of how different they are to the standard. The thing that they are doing, though, is trying to put you in a series of situations that actually question your morals and make you ask yourself, okay, how would I act in this situation? Who would I save? What would I do? What is the hidden purpose behind this? Is this person lying? So those are games that are subtly trying to teach you how to be better at decision making, how to develop some integrity as a person by, I would say, questioning your ideals and morals through some situations that you are put into. So overall, even though they are very, very good games, I will very sadly say those are the very, very rare exceptions, and with a heavy heart, I have to say that probably games is tied, in my opinion, with social media as the worst way that you can be spending your time. Not because it just wastes it, as social media does. The problem is that in gaming, the sheer amount of time that you spend trying to escape reality adds up very quickly, and there is a very, very high potential chance that you will also end up spending a lot of money. So it's not only from the aspect of time, it's also from the financial aspect, which, okay, I get it, it's convenient, it's nice, it makes you feel good, which brings us back to the instant gratification moment. But on the long run, I think it's very, very detrimental to you. The easiest way to escape reality is to just reach out for some of the methods for instant gratification, be that games, OnlyFans, any other form of easily available entertainment to us. When was the last time you were bored and reached out for a book on purpose instead of actually going and watching a movie or going on social media or playing some games? I'm gonna say very confidently, the vast majority of you did not do that recently. Honestly, I struggle to find some good books that were written recently. Maybe they just haven't reached me, maybe they haven't gotten the traction and popularity yet, but I'm not aware of a book written post 2020, a book that's popular, hugely successful, and that has a good message. What I find myself enjoying is books that give you a whole world at your fingertips. Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, Eragon, Dune. I warmly recommend Dune, by the way, as a starting point. I wasted probably hundreds of hours being in another universe and trying to understand the people there, trying to understand some different fictional culture, and I would do it all over again. I want to warmly recommend to you to select a book, try to ask some friends for some recommendations, and say, okay, I want to read through this and use the last half an hour or 1 hour of your time during the day and try to eliminate all of the electronics, lie down in your bed and try to read for half an hour. If you're still here, don't forget to click that subscribe button and ring the bell to never miss an update from our channel. If I need to sum up and conclude the whole story, I would say entertainment will allow you to escape your reality, but just temporarily. At the end of the day, you will always have to come back. Choose entertainment that will give you tools and inspire you to make your reality better.